Every anime has a main character, but if that character gets completely butchered, the show itself will be shit. No gorgeous visuals or peak storyline could save it. And today, we're talking about exactly that. The second part of the worst types of anime main characters, focusing mainly on the girls this time. So, let's not waste any more time, and let's begin. I feel like all of us have experienced anxiety one way or another. You would think that these characters would be pretty relatable, especially if you went through social anxiety yourself, right? Well, as a former loser, and maybe still a current loser, I can confidently say, no. Sure, social interaction wasn't my specialty, right? But there's a difference between avoiding social interaction and, oh hey look, a random girl on the street. She turns and looks at the main character. Eee, she's looking at me! And then fainting right there on the spot. Social anxiety makes you a shy type, making it a little harder talking to others. That is true, but it does not make you suffer from a heart attack. You're not gonna die from it like it's a peanut allergy or something. Like, if you even get someone who actually suffers from it, looking at your show and thinking, bruh, just get it over with already. You know you've completely missed the mark. I feel like the creators haven't gone through social anxiety themselves, so they're just playing a guessing game and using their imagination on how they think they act. And some of you might be saying, they're just exaggerating for comedic reasons. It's not that deep. Stop being so negative. I would ignore that because we don't use logic here. So, instead we'll look at good examples of these types. First, we look at Butchie from Butchie the Rock. I love this show, but I feel like this was the first one we all thought about when we saw this entry. If anyone says that she's a good portrayal, I don't even know what you're smoking, but please pass that shit on to me. Because, be honest with me, has anyone had a moment like this? I would say Hitori Butchie would be a better portrayal, but that would be extremely generous. Though, again, it's kind of unfair because they are just exaggerated for laughs. I can't think of any other that fits this description though, since I'm rushing through the script, so help me out if you have any ideas. We all love a bit of kindness, right? When someone drops their shit, you help them pick it up. When someone trips over their own shoelaces, you help them up. Or when someone has a stain on their pants, you pull their pants down and let's not go that direction. Whatever it might be, giving kindness or receiving it gives you a good feeling. In come the overly kind main characters though. You know, the ones that make My Little Pony look like an edgy show for teenagers. Being unrealistically kind to a level that it just inconveniences them. They always do favors for others, no matter how stupid it is. Someone can ask them for a 3-hour drive to a certain location, and they'll be like, sure thing, I was heading home anyway. Mind you, their house is in the opposite direction, 5 minutes away. And when their friend comes in to reject such a ridiculous request, they're like, oh no, I want to do it, I promise. And this is what makes it even more irritating, because not even a few minutes before that, we had to sit through their realization on how they should be a little more selfish. Like, pick a fucking side! They also have a way with words, to say the least. It doesn't matter how evil someone is. It could be motherfucking Hitler or some shit, where the overly kind character will give this entire speech that turns those bad guys into soft, kind-hearted saints. Saying some shit like, sure, burning down your grandma's house out of revenge for stealing your PlayStation was a nice thing to do, but you recognize that, which proves that you're a good person at heart. Continuing on and on with stuff like, you might not recognize it, but I do. Like, shut up, bro. You sound like ChatGPT, bro. The best example of this is another anime I love and a character I like, but we'll pretend that isn't the case. Honda from Fruits Basket. I haven't completed the show yet, maybe she becomes a little more selfish as the show goes on, but my god, man. I had to skip certain scenes because it just irritated me. Her kindness feels forced, you know? Like, I would personally not trust anyone that is this nice to you. Maybe I have issues, I don't know. But I don't want to get lured in by someone who's acting all soft and loving just for me to end up with a katana up my ass. I've already called out this type in a different video, but I haven't really given it proper attention. And it's a video where I'm speaking so fast that I put Eminem to shame. So here's a do-over. The female perv is literally just a pervert, except, you know, a woman. We all know those scenes where those guys get beaten up for doing something pervy, which is totally deserved, right? Everyone should face consequences for doing shit like that. And with everyone, I mean everyone, including the female perverts. But for some reason, I think we all know why, they always get away with it. When a guy accidentally has a handful of honkers, it always results in the girl screaming, "Pervert," and then him getting pushed deep into the stratosphere before plummeting into a prison cell. But when a girl is going on a grabbing spree, they're just standing there. Embarrassed, sure, but no violence. And they've gotten so comfortable with it that they're even willing to use it as a weapon, being like,
"If you don't do your homework, I will grab your massive, voluptuous..."
Something I'm not allowed to say or else I'm demonetized. Like, imagine a guy did that. They would probably not even get the chance to finish that sentence without ending up with a frying pan violating their school. And that little example I gave just now, about using it as a threat, I didn't even make that shit up. I had that from Love Life, where Nozomi literally threatened to grab the chest of these girls to get them to behave themselves. She never gets consequences for doing it either. And the worst part, it actually worked in her favor. But listen, I might be exaggerating a little because not all of them get away unpunished. The girl from Aho Girl managed to make herself a punching bag by doing that shit, so it really just depends on the anime you're watching. If you want to suffer from permanent trust issues, this is the right girl for you. The Klutz is the type of girl you can't even trust to feed your cat, accidentally feeding it sleeping pills instead of, you know, what cats are supposed to eat. The Klutz is often this cute girl who's always smiley and cheery, despite her hands being made of pure butter, and her walking around as if she's wearing roller skates. She always drops everything somehow, especially herself, always ending up on the floor, maybe tearing up and shit, and not realizing that she's 10 years too old to act like that, but whatever. Like, you can ask her, "Hey, can you bring me a glass of water?" She'll probably be like, "Sure," hopping off to the kitchen and getting you a glass. But, you know, the usual happens. And what I mean by that is, she trips right in front of you. And not only is she getting water in her clothing, but she's also getting shards of glass in your face. Afterwards, she would claim that she would fix the situation somehow. But then afterwards, she's making the problem 1,000 times worse. Like, trying to use alcohol to clean the wound, but then accidentally spraying it in your eyes. I don't know why I'm going that much into detail, but that's literally what I expect from main characters like these. It's the type of stuff that makes you believe that it's all just an act, and it's actually premeditated or something. Like, I'll be honest, my ADHD having ass is definitely clumsy as hell, but that doesn't mean that gravity's out there trying to get me around every corner. And you know what time it is by now. Calling out all the clumsy characters I know off the top of my head. We've got Yui from K-On!, Sakura from Zombieland Saga, Sayori from Doki Doki, who isn't even an anime character, but whatever. Just think of any anime out there that has a female cast, and there's definitely one character that fits this description. So anyway, that was it for today. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, comment some characters I may have missed, and I'll see you all in the next one.